know that in the last decade the festival changed a lot, and the structure my predecessor gave to the festival was the good one to me. And at the same time I try also to think about the long tradition of Locarno, and which is a tradition of discovery but also of freedom. In order, I try to mix film that are very little in terms of scale of production with very big production company. It was also since the beginning a festival that show films that was not possible to show, for instance, in Italy because of the war, of the fascism. So I try also to think about that, but basically I didn't want to change many things. I consider myself that, the director is someone that stands in the front line, but at the same time is someone that has to lead a group, and and besides, I think that I don't want to underestimate my role, but festival is film festival. Films is the main thing, so I'd like to put the film on the front line, not me. I wasn't a cinephile boy. I think that like everyone in my generation, I was born with television in my house, so for sure films along with cartoons, along with the news, were part of my life. I don't want to say that I spent all my life facing the television, but television was in the house. And then the cinema as a place, not only a way to see the film, enter at the first like something that you do once in a while, Sunday, or with your father or with your grandfather. I don't have precise memory of film. I have more memories of going to the theater, and I still think that the cinema has a lot to do with this kind of. Also in a festival, you make the queue. When you make the queue, you already think about the film, what we're gonna be, your expectation, and then you are in the theater. There is the dark, and you cope with this dark. You start making the film, and it's different from seeing the film on the television or on the computer. I think it's really this kind of aspect are important. I think that the work I've done as curator of the retrospective show a little bit that I don't have one single genre, but I try to welcome all the genres of film. I like cinema because it could be a good mirror to the society, and I like to be diverse. So I start making a retrospective on a actor-director, Nanni Moretti. She's maybe we can say that it's related to the new cinema, the cinema that started in the 70s, so 10 years after the Nouvelle Vague. Then I do a crazy project on Japanese animation, and I'm related to this language because of my generation. And then I have 3 works on Hollywood, so I think it's explain a bit my taste. The way I express myself is through the pen. I am film critic basically. I still try to write because it's a way to understand better the film. I didn't have so far the desire to pass behind the camera. I think there are lots of films. So.
Do you think film criticism still is relevant for today, or what do you think?
I think it is in a different way. I think it is because, especially through the net, bloggers can express themselves in a free way, and it's good because in the last, let's say, 20 years, the room for film criticism was, as far as I know, reduced. People wrote for the newspaper, had to review only the film that were released, and have to deal with pressure. Through the net you are free, and you can also open other open other room, other window to the other kind of cinema. So I think change. Of course, it's not wide word spread, but there is a community of cinephile that follow 2 or 3 bloggers or websites, and through them they can also be informed about what happened. Twitter is on that way is very good. Of course, it's the film criticism has to deal also with the writing, and for me it's really important, the writing, and because English is becoming a common language, it's very good for the English native language people, but for other people it could be complicated because you have to reduce your way of expression. But I think there are other way. There is a review that I really like. It's called La Furia Umana, and they include article in every language, also in Thai language, and it's a way to find other way and to deal. So let's see. Yeah. I think the cinema is changing so quickly that is, you know, until maybe 20 years or 15 years, you have there's also a way also for the film criticism to make things easier. But you say there was like kind of the new wave, so the new Chinese wave, the 5th generation, the 6th generation. Locarno helps a lot with the new Iranian cinema, Kiarostami. Now things change so quickly that last year we had Locarno had like 4 or 5 films in the US in main competition. This year only 1. I went to Sundance. There were some interesting things, but there was not a huge representation of that. I think this year, on the other hand, the European presence is really strong, and a country like Spain, which is in a big crisis, arrive here with a great film by Albert Serra, but also first documentary, which is, you will see, to me is really strong, Costa da Morte, another completely strange object in Palavideo, El Futuro. So, but I know pretty well the situation in Spain, and I cannot say there is a new wave. There is a group of people making things, and I think that maybe it's more about this is has to also to deal with the world we live in. People living in Barcelona, they have very strong contact with people living in Buenos Aires, maybe more than the other people living in Madrid. There is always problem, but there is also always solution. So I try to be very pragmatic. I know that there are things that will be great, but I have some limits of budget, some limit of space. I think that the biggest problem is not really my job, but the biggest problem in Locarno, the things we are already working is the hospitality. We lack of hotel, we lack of accommodation place. The theater, the Fevi, it's incredibly, but it's harsh for audience, and I always say that the real treasure in Locarno is the audience, because so generous audience staying at the Fevi with chair not so comfortable for all day. They are really cinema lovers. So, and then of course I can say, yeah, I would like to have the new Argo, or but I prefer to focus on the things that I can change. And I also, besides, I'm pretty happy also about the big scale production, because we had 3 films from 3 major in Piazza Grande, and I know that Locarno is a good place for mixing things.